Hello everybody, I'm Charles and now we're starting really with Python. So I open a Jupyter notebook, Jupyter Lab, which shows that in the previous video. If you want to go back, you don't know how to create this. And once you're in Jupyter Lab, what I will look at today is, and I explain a very big secret at the end of this video, but what we'll look at today first is, okay, what can we do with Python out of the box, right? What can we do in Python and what works? So we saw it works with cells here in Jupyter Notebook, and let's see what happens if I just put 1. So if I put 1, it tells me 1. Okay, what happens if I do 1 plus 1? Does it understand that? It says 2, so it works. So we can use Python as a calculator. So you'll say, okay, it's not super useful, but actually it's pretty interesting, and you'll say, we'll keep adding to that, right? I'm starting really from scratch and we'll keep adding, so don't give up. Now, let's see what can we do with those numbers. How would I subtract something? 2 minus 1, can you guess? You can put in the comment, that's 1. So it's 1. We already had 2 before, so let's do this. 8 minus 1 minus 1. 8 minus 9 minus 1. So up, everything is fine right now, everything makes sense. How would we multiply something? Well, we can multiply with the star. 2 by 5, 10. Easy, but again, you'll see we'll build from that. Now, how do we divide? So to divide, what you need to do is just use the bar like this, 5. So 8 divided by 5, 1.6. So we start to have something with a comma here. So this is a different type of number, and we'll see that very, very soon, just now. What else could we do? Well, something else we could do is 5 at the power of 2, for instance. 5 power 2, 25, right? So you get what it means, right? It's 5 per 5. So it just what it means. So if I say 5 at the power of 3, which is double star for the power, like the exponent, 125. Why? Because it's 5 per 5 per 5. Right? So that's just some basic math. So, and how to use it here. So there's something else that would be the last one we'll see on this specific thing is, okay, how do we get the rest from a division? You say, the rest from a division, why would you want that? You'll see, sometimes it's useful. So there's something called Modulo. And if you take the modulo of, if you do 5 modulo 2, then you run that, you got 1. Why? Well, because we're asking the rest for the division of 5 by 2. So it means that, okay, 5 is 2 by 2. That would be if we had asked for the actual integer number of this division, plus 1. So the modulo is this plus 1, is what is resting from the division, right? So we say, okay, if you divide by 2, what is the part that rests? And okay, it's this one. So if you don't get it, that doesn't really matter, but it's important to know that's how you do it. When you need modulo, you know it's there. Now let's start to play with actual variables. We'll do that in the next video, so I got them well separated, but I told you before that I would give you a very big secret in this video. So the secret is, the people doing courses like me are not any type at all of genius. Right? We're not geniuses, definitely not me, and not anybody else doing courses. Everything we're showing comes from somewhere. And this somewhere, I'll show you now, and I put the link in the description. The somewhere is a Python documentation. So here, look, that's the documentation. So again, I'll put the link directly, and here you have basically everything we'll be looking at. So sometimes it's not that easy to get to, but that's more or less what defines the order that most people will give you course and explain thing in paid course, in free course, etc. So look, it's exactly what we did. The calculator, how you can add, how you can subtract. So they go a bit more far, and I'll explain more that all those with parentheses in a later video, because I think it's not the funniest thing, and we'll want to go to the funnest, some part a bit more fun first. But basically, if you want to know something about Python, and you think it's not in those videos that I'm doing, option 1, do a comment. Ask me. I'm more than happy to keep adding content for specific things that I might not have covered. Now, option 2, do a comment. I'll just answer in the comment. Option 3, well, you can always look at the documentation. for everything. Like if it's something well done, the documentation is well done and there's a lot of information. So you don't need to go see it right now, because I will explain all that in the future videos. But when there is a topic where you want, I don't know, you got some issue, you don't understand something, because I didn't explain it as well as I wish I should have, or anything like that, well, always go back to the documentation. That's where the pro, in a way, go, right? So that's where everything comes from, and sometimes from one version of Python to the other. Right now it's Python 3.8. I use Python 3.7 because it works better with CUDA, but CUDA, will see what it is. It's for deep learning and machine learning, instead data science and AI. But when there is a new version of Python, they are doing small changes. Well, those changes will also be in the documentation. So remember, the documentation is your friend. That's a really big secret. That's where everything comes from. The people doing Python are explaining what they're doing, and it's always something good to know that it's here and available. It's going to be the same for Pandas, for NumPy, for TensorFlow, for PyTorch. Everything we'll see in the future. So just wanted to say that in the next video, we'll start saving variable in the memory, saving data in the memory. I'll show you how it is, and we'll be doing some small game so that you can see why we're doing that. So see you in the next video.